The idea that the expansion of humanity across the world can come to an end simply because there are too many of us is a worrying proposition, given the fact that it means the certain end to many lives across the planet. And while at first it seems unlikely, there is science showing that not only is this a probability, it's definitely coming. Human population growth has stayed very low for thousands of years. However, there were still periods of permanent population boom, with the first happening after the Ice Age and the next after humans discovered agriculture. There were a few hiccups along the way, such as the Black Death, but by 1805, there were 1 billion people who can call themselves inhabitants of this minuscule space rock. It only took a little over a century to double that number to 2 billion by 1927. Both of the world wars sent the birth rate plummeting downwards, only to have it explode to all-time highs immediately after. And it's the years after the Second World War that saw the highest human birth rate the world has ever achieved. With the growth rate reaching 2.2% in 1964, the global population ballooned to 5 billion people in just 60 years. Now couple this with the other fact that energy demand for the ever-expanding industry of the world and consumer usage of electricity directly tied the number of people to the amount of fuel burned, along with other precious resources. So when the population gets too big and consumption overtakes resources, there will be a shortage in any number of materials and resources. Just like animals in the wild, whenever the population of one species gets too large in a given area, nature usually finds a way to thin the herd. An explosion in rabbits usually leads to a rise in hawks. More hawks means more predators for the rabbits, who then go out and eat a greater number of rabbits. This increase in deaths for the rabbits results in the population once again declining to its normal levels. Or take an algae bloom, which commonly consumes all the available resources in the given area and then suffocates itself when everything is gone. We will eat ourselves into our own grave. The process of overpopulation is devastating to the environment, as such a massive amount of human biomass and consumption puts a very real strain on the earth and its resources. Humanity at the current population is already struggling with pollution, carbon emissions, and resource scarcity. Wealthy countries are using more energy than ever before, and is only seeming to grow with the rise of AI data centers, which burn the same amount of fuel as entire cities. If everything carries on into the future as it has been, it's very possible that we will cause long-lasting or simply irreversible damage to the ecosystem. And as nature is, a dying ecosystem leads to a dying population. This is obviously a very large and complex issue with many possible solutions. Increasing urbanization could contain consumption and pollution to a smaller area in order to minimize the spread of environmental damage. Another proposed method is to export this problem to another planet through space colonization. And by far, the most boring option is to have less kids, stop owning vehicles, stop flying, and only eat plant-based meals. All of these solutions seem pretty unlikely to work though. Urbanization might keep human society out of nature, but it won't stop us from extracting resources from other parts of the world to bring it back to the city. Extraterrestrial colonies sounds cool, but in reality is just far too expensive and difficult to justify sustaining any sizable population outside of Earth. Regulating all of your consumption habits and the number of kids would certainly have a positive effect on the planet, but nobody will do it. Think about it. You're asking people to stop driving cars, stop eating steaks, and stop fucking. I personally think at that point, building a base on Mars and mining asteroids is the far easier option than telling people to stop driving to bars and getting laid. Then again, not that many people my age can afford doing that anyways. So what can we do then? How can we keep growing as a species and keep the Earth intact? How can we have our cake and eat it too. While my simple Gen Z YouTuber brain should not be a trusted source on this topic, I believe the overarching problems to solve is that of renewable resources and pollution. If we can find a way to create food and energy in a way that does not drain the ecosystem, and then reuse or completely eliminate any waste product that is created from that process, humanity will be in a far better position to not just grow, but also to make the world around us better than it ever has been. But that's all I know. I'm just one guy and I'm learning right alongside you guys. So do your own research, start reading books, and have a great day. This was Loreium, signing out.